Hello, and my name is Pete Rushmer, and I'm your host today of A Half Dozen Things podcast. A Half Dozen Things is a podcast for business owners just like you. Whether you're an underdog hungry for success, or you're already smashing it but want to continue to level up, we are here each week for you to get insight and learning from the very best in the business. No fluff, no BS, and no self-proclaimed gurus talking about how easy business or life is.
Hello and welcome to this LinkedIn Live. It is Thursday, the 22nd of June, and today I'm really excited because we've got our second transport briefing today, and it's going to be later on today, and it's fully booked, so I'm really excited about that. And we're just getting the training and offices and training rooms ready for 30 guests who are going to descend on us today, which is fantastic. But I'm not here to talk to you about anything related to transport. I'm here to talk about 6 steps to achieving clarity in your vision. Now, what does that really mean? Well, one of the things that through my personal development journey that I focused on is creating a vision of a future that is motivating for ourselves. And it's an absolutely vital thing for us to do. And what that means is once we have clarity of our future, it helps us make sure that our trajectory towards our goals is one that we are motivated by, something that we're really interested in, something that we'd love to do. But not only that, because it's also important to remember that actually the journey to achieving our goals is really important, and the journey to achieving our vision is a vital part of that process and that journey, because it isn't just about the achievement of reaching and achieving something. It's actually about the way we live and the way we move towards the future that we want. Because people might be listening and they might have mental health challenges, they might have depression, anxiety, fear of the future, they might have things about the past that are holding them back. So the idea about creating a vision of a future that is motivating, that is something that someone's really going to get excited by and go and achieve, that gives great meaning and purpose to our lives, and a much better potentially way of living than what we do currently. So it's something that I do. It's a bit like goal setting, but creating a vision is something where we can really look to sort of progress and move on. So I'm creating this lunchtime live for people to think about 6 steps to creating clarity in their vision, because it's not that easy a thing, right? I might decide that I want to be an astronaut, right? And I need to think about how am I going to make that happen. So there's sort of a step-by-step process to sort of go through, and I'm looking forward to sort of sharing that with you, really. So the 6 steps to clarity. The first and second kind of go hand in hand, and you do those together. The first one I call, or certainly in my experience, because it's what my coach did with me when I was doing my coaching, was creating a shit list, right? So what a shit list is it is a list of stuff that is either happening right now that I hate or don't like, or you hate or don't like, and it's things that you want that you can't progress any further until you deal with. And also in that list, you might put in any sort of hang-ups you have. You might notice that you have a voice inside your head that says, actually, that's too much money, or someone like me can't do, be, or have something like that. And that would go in your shit list, and you'd create a shit list over a period of time, because there's no rush, right? You've lived all your life as you have now, potentially without a vision, and you're looking to create one for the future. Then it's important to take some time to reflect on that stuff. So have a think about, for question 1, which is about creating a shit list, start to think about the stuff that you don't want, the things that you feel or think that are unwelcome. Thank you very much, Mrs. Rushmer. You're live. Thank you. Mrs. Rushmer has just bought me a coffee, isn't she good? Good old Mrs. R. So it would be things that you don't want. It would be things that you feel, and behavior that you don't want to do. So you might smoke, for example, and you don't want to do smoking anymore because it's unhealthy, right? And it's expensive, and all of the other reasons that you wouldn't want to do smoking. So that would be something that you'd then go on your shit list, right? And all of those things, if you feel unhappy and you think about the things that are causing you to feel unhappy, you think about those. Thank you, Joyce. Yes, I am going to enjoy my coffee. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, so that is the first step, is to start to think about those things. And at the same time, you want to create what your vision is going to look like. And you can see in action my rep system there, which is that I'm quite a visual person, so I think about it visually. But one of the things to think about when you're creating a vision of the future is think about what it is that you want to be, do, have, and achieve. And I'd actually separate those things. What do I want to have? Who do I want to be? And what are the things that I want to be doing, and start to think about those things. And as you start to create that vision of the future, you can start to create an event that happens. And you might not be as visually orientated as I am. I clearly am in the way that I speak. You can hear it in the language I use around me seeing things and the picture that I create and those kinds of things. But you might be very sensitive to smell or to noises or hearing things particularly. So you'd create that vision of how do you know when you've achieved that vision? So what will, start to think about what we see, what we hear, what environment are you going to be in, who are you going to be with, all those sorts of things. So start to think about those things once you've created and know the things that you want. So you start to write that stuff down, right? So very useful stuff. Step 1 and 2, start doing them together. The things I want and the things that I don't want.
Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're proud to sponsor a Half Dozen Things podcast. Flagship Partners help their clients become safer, greener, and greater through a range of consultancy and training services. We offer audits through to risk assessments, contracts through to support with managing your culture, all the way from mandatory training through to management training as well. So if you need any support, please do get in touch with Flagship Partners today.
And then the third step is to start to think about, and some of the things that I do with my coaching clients is start to think about their values, starting to think about what's most important to them. Is it meaning and purpose? What are they motivated by? What are the things they need to have in their lives? What's the non-negotiable? So starting to think about values. So for example, for a long period of time, my top value was family. So family is obviously vitally important to me. That came before anything else. It came before Flagship. And in my family is Maggie, my wife, is my children, is my parents, my siblings, those people that are in my life. So family is really, really important to me. Now, for some people, they might not have family, so that might not be the most important thing. But you start to put those things. So I'd have family there, and then I'd have sort of work here. But if something happened with the family, that comes before work for me, for example. It might not be the same for you. It might be in whatever order it is. But start to think about your values. And there's things that certainly I can do with my clients around starting to work out what their values are and start to understand the meaning behind what it is that they're wanting to do and what is important for them and how they start to prioritize the things that are happening and the decisions they make and the actions they take and those kinds of things to make sure they're aligned with their values. Now, you might be interested to know that I said previously family, so is family not important to me anymore? Well, interestingly, when I did my NLP Master Practitioner, we realized that actually the most important thing to me was love. So I wanted to have love in my life, and that the family became part of that. So additionally, it's about doing the things I love and creating a vision that I love and all of those sorts of things. So actually love became more important than family. So it's quite important. One of the things that I would think about as we start to iron out people's values is to look at the most abstract concept, which, if it was the most important thing, what is that is most important to you as you work through your values? So that is step number 3. So the first one is the shit list. The second is creating a vision of the things that you want to be, do, have in the future and the journey that you want to create that, and potentially something that's so inspiring for you, you have to change to be able to achieve that too. And then the third one is about working out your values. The fourth is then to realign your vision. So one of the things to do is as you start to think about your vision, what will happen is when you start to set goals and you think about them, we have what we call moving away from and moving toward goals. So one of the challenges is if you move away from something rather than moving towards something is as you start to move away, so this is away from here, okay? And as you start to move away from those things, that's me doing it visually and kinesthetically. So as you start to move away from things, what happens is you start to become comfortable with where you are. And what then happens, because you're still facing over here as moving away from, you actually start to get drawn back. A really good example of that is when people are looking to lose weight. People want to lose weight, so they start here, they're looking towards this area here, moving away from, right, I'm fat at the moment, I'm not happy with how I look, I'm feeling unhealthy, so I'm going to start to lose weight and I want to lose 2 stone. Okay, so all of a sudden, they start to move away from that and they start to feel better, but they're still facing in that direction. Well, look at what I've lost, look at where I've come from, and all that happens is they start to get comfortable with where they are, and then the old habits start to come back and they start to go back towards that unhelpful past of where they were. Whereas actually, if we look at the things that we really want to achieve and we face the other way, which is over here towards the things we really want. So for example, in that scenario, rather than wanting to lose weight, which is an away from, I wanted to be healthier. So what does that healthier look like? So it might be that I look better, that there's certain clothes that I can wear, and I'm looking towards what it is that I want to achieve and be. If I start moving in that direction, what will happen is I will start to achieve the future version of what I want to be. So one of the things we do is we sense check that vision and those goals to make sure that they're what I call toward goals that you're starting to look to achieve as you sort of progress and look forward as you look to sort of motivate and move forward with your vision, because it's important to move towards stuff. And what will happen is naturally as you create stuff, you'll start to realize that you're creating stuff which is moving away from, and actually if I wasn't moving away from it, what am I actually, where's the opportunity, where's the abundance, what can I move towards? So that's a really important thing when goal setting, and people often make that mistake that they want to be less of something or more of something, and that can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. So that's the 4th one. And the 5th one is to consider the things that are holding you back. So as you start to think about those things, about, I don't know, you want to be a millionaire, although I'd ask you why it is you want to be a millionaire and those kinds of things, because that's a sort of end goal which can be a bit challenging. But consider what's holding you back. When you think about that, when you think about all the abundance that you could have, what is it that's holding you back from achieving that? What are the little stories you're telling yourselves? What are the doubts that are happening? Because ultimately we're all going to have those doubts around our ability to achieve them. So it's about starting to listen to those things that are holding us back. And then the 6th thing, the half dozen thing, is about making sure that it's future focused, making sure that you are thinking about what is going to be in the future, and then it's something that's so compelling that it will continue to sort of drive you forward. And then there's a bit of a freebie at the end, which is about, actually, can you do all this stuff on your own? Potentially, yes, you could. You could listen to this and you could start to go off and do it on your own. Or the other thing is you could start to think about getting some support. And what will happen is those doubts that you have or those uncertainties you have, they come out in the way that you speak and the way that you say things and the way that you articulate things. And a coach will be able to hear those things and will be able to notice the things that potentially you're not noticing that might be holding you back. So it's quite important to potentially work with someone else to support that. And if you're interested, please do get in touch. I'm hoping that this short live has been useful. If you have any questions, please do give me a shout, and I'd love to have a chat with you more about your vision and what that looks like for you in the future, and also about some of the things that might be holding you back from achieving those things, because that's what I'm here for. So if you're interested, give me a shout, and otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
I really hope you loved today's episode, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe and listen out for future episodes too. Please do share it across your social media channels. We hope to reach more and help more people. If you want to find out more about me, my name's Pete Rushmer. You'll find me across any social media channel and my business, Flagship Partners, and we're your partners in success across your business. Thank you. See you again soon.